Hello, good morning. My name is Pollux Thane, and in this role I am being interviewed for the position of FTK educator. I'm assuming that the interviewer has just asked me the question, if we were to drop in on your classroom, what will we see, hear, and feel? How will we know learning is happening? So I think it's very important to understand that kindergarten pedagogy has to be based around the foundations of belonging, engagement, expression, self-regulation, and well-being. Belonging is so important for kids as they begin the transition from home, from preschool, from daycare, all of the various starts that children have with their education progress. And that sense of belonging just makes them feel safe and able to explore. Engagement is very important. No one wants bored students. Expression is very important. You want the students to understand that their own way of doing, their own understanding of things, and their own expression of how they know that is very important. As well as there needs to be this understanding of self-regulation and the understanding of what is expected of them in the class. And tying that into well-being, you want a positive mental attitude, positive health, all of those things as a starting block, because then you can simply build on top of that instead of spending all of your energy on getting the students to that point of well-being. So if you were to drop into my classroom, you would see organized, maintained, prepared sections of the classroom. I'll repeat that. Organized, maintained, and prepared sections of the class. The students are on task and engaged with their work. As you look around, it's clean. If it is dirtied, it is quickly responded to by the student. They have this sense of their own space, hopefully within my classroom, and they understand that if they somehow make it unclean, they have to be the ones to clean it up. They have a sense of self in the classroom. There's a sense for everyone in that classroom. It is not just my classroom. It is not just one or two students' classrooms. Every student needs to be involved with the entire classroom. And that is by putting up their work, putting up things that are special to them, so many different ways. It is hopefully a simple design as you look around. Not lots of colors, clear designated zones as I previously mentioned. I personally really like plants as both a part of color, a focusing point, as well as a learning opportunity for the students to care and treat something with respect and responsibility, as well as understanding plants. They're very, very interesting. What would you hear in my class? I think the best way to describe it would be a thoughtful buzz. It's not quiet. A quiet classroom is, I think, an unproductive one, or a classroom that is not being fully utilized. It is a room without shouting or yelling, obviously. That is not to say it is without passion, but the classroom is quiet and not loud at the same time. A nice balance. The students are engaging with each other and their work. They are maintaining communication, but still not being boisterous, being unproductive, being silly. Unless, of course, it's encouraged at the time. This is a kindergarten classroom we are talking about. I think it is bound to have its silly moments, and I think it's important to understand that that's going to happen and be able to rein it back in to the point that we're at. What do I want you to be able to feel in my classroom? If you were to drop in, a sense of belonging yourself. I think it's important for the students to have that sense of belonging, but everybody that walks in, I want them to feel cozy. I want them to feel like this isn't a bad place to be. I want there to be a sense of engagement. I want there to be this idea that if you have an idea, you should be able to share it. You should be able to fully realize it to the end, by all means. And it is very important to be able to explore that and make sure that the engagement stays there. Because a student that has been ignored and neglected is a strong word, but it means that they had this positive attitude and they just weren't properly cared for. They weren't properly recognized. They weren't engaged. I want there to be a sense of expression. I want there to be art on the walls. I want there to be creativity flowing between ideas. I want there to be different solutions for questions that are usually concrete. I want there to be exploration of all of these ideas, because creativity is so important. And that's imaginative solutions to problems and expressing those ideas clearly is what it's all about. It is a very important, the third teacher, the environment, is, I want to say, providing for the kids. The third teacher is just as important as the educator, myself, as the peers, the other students in the classroom. The third teacher sets the tone and sets the tone and the energy of the classroom. And I think that the wrong environment has been the downfall for many students. And recently, as the means of education have gone further, that this understanding that the third teacher, the environment, is so important is going to be a great change for many students. I think that an important add-on to your question of how will we know learning is happening is that there is this curiosity and wonder that is throughout the classroom, this cycle of inquiry that is being understood, that is being acted on, that is sort of the core of everything. The core of all of these stations is this personal sense of why, this personal sense of wonder. And we would know this learning is happening, this specific inquiry-based learning, because they're engaged, the students, and they have this understanding of what is expected of them in my classroom. They are on task and understood. They are explaining their thinking to myself clearly, to one another. They are helping each other, being present for each other. They're talking to each other about what they are doing. They are not doing independent work unless it is specifically required